Shanti. Welcome, soul to soul. And we're going to look again at resilience. But this time, we're looking at the power of tolerance. So to take happiness, my name is Rose from Inner Space in Glasgow, and I'm welcoming you to this program. Take happiness, don't take sadness. It is an interesting way to look at life. Of course, there are people who try to insult others and criticize a lot, so we actually have it in our nature to be super critical. And we have to catch ourselves now and think, don't do it, because if I criticize others, by the law of energy, others will criticize me. We don't like being criticized, and others probably don't like being criticized either, and they can feel it, although they might not show it. So there are people who do insult others and criticize a lot. So it could even mean ourselves here, but do you get deeply affected, feeling you're being criticized? So others will feel that if we're criticizing them. So when someone's giving you something bad, we've heard this a lot actually in different ways. Do you accept it? Or how much do you accept? What do you accept? Do you have to accept the insults? Do you have to accept them? Is there a bad feeling in your mind when someone insults you? And can you change that discomfort? So think about your self-respect. Who am I? So someone's criticizing me. Do I feel very downtrodden and feel I don't deserve that criticism? Or do I remember who I am and stay quite upright and okay? Okay, because I know it's a habit. And we all have the habit. So it's good to look at the self and recognise the fact we do have the habit as quick as a flash. We're finding the area to criticise. And why do we criticise? Because we're all different. We're not the same, never have been the same, and never ever will be the same. What a dull world it would be if we were all the same. So when I can remember that, and if people are not thinking like that, they will continue to criticize the difference. But the difference is the wonder of life. So don't get put down by the criticism. Just keep remembering that you know what it's all about. Why is there discontentment with others? If you judge others and say that they are wrong, then there's dissatisfaction. But it's okay to be aware of different characters, because we're all different, and the wonder and the speciality is usually in the difference. Someone's good at this, and no one else is good at that maybe, not in the same way, and someone's good at something else, so they don't do it the way I do it, but it's rather a wonder. So it's okay to be aware of different characters and understand what people's personalities are like. Yes, be aware, yes. Also be careful not to get pulled into the despondency actually of the criticism. But if observation becomes judgment, criticism and dislike, then you've lost the power of tolerance. You're not able to tolerate because it's very, very harsh if I'm just judging them on their criticism. But this doesn't mean that you can't act and play your role in life, because you are the way you are. You are you. So you can still act and interact with someone who's criticizing you, but without anger or aggression. And we have a quote here from Michelle Obama: when they go low, that is, it's very low energy to criticize someone. So it means when we are criticized or pulled down, we go high. If we tolerate, we go high. But if we come back down into the level of criticism, we also go low. So when they go low, it's an opportunity for us to go high. So if you feel forced to tolerate, you're forcing yourself to put up with it, forcing yourself, oh, I have to tolerate this, then this will be very stressful. You'll feel huge discomfort. But the real power is to tolerate out of love. That is, out of understanding how it works, and that people have the habit of criticism. Doesn't mean that they don't love you underneath it all and respect you underneath it all and come into harmony with you when they can, and you know, all sorts of nice energies are mixed up in that if we just don't get upset by the criticism. Real power is to tolerate out of love. So to understand that they're finding a fault in me because they want to get it right, because they don't see it to be the way they would like it to be. So this can actually be something for me to understand about them. You can tolerate because you have understood the spiritual law, and the spiritual law is the law of life, is love. And the other part of that is that you are love. It sounds like a big thing, but every day people do this. They look at the law of life and they have love. So the law of life is love.
So a lot of what you described was tolerating something that's coming to me. Sometimes I feel like I have to tolerate myself, like I'm not able to maybe exactly think or feel the way I want to feel or respond at a certain moment, and it's almost like I'm having to tolerate my own limitations at that stage. Could you say something about that? Is there an element of the power of tolerance involved there as you go through a sort of change process?
That's a very good question. I have to get to know myself and know that underneath anything that I see that's negative in myself is my power of goodness. So I really have to see the good part of myself, the loving part of my energy. And sometimes we're despondent because we do our best to keep showing and putting forward the loving part of our energy, and it's as if nobody sees it and they're still criticizing me. And then I myself, if I'm not seeing it myself, I'll be very despondent because I'm expecting others to see this goodness in me, but I'm not feeling it myself. So if I'm not feeling it, how can others see it? So they will then be apprehensive of me and criticize me, And I myself will start to criticise myself and think, well, I think I might be doing everything, but nothing seems to be working. That's because you're not doing everything. You're not reminding yourself of your wonder. Because when we start to do meditation, it's all about the wonder of the truth of the self. It doesn't matter how negative we become or how others treat us. The truth is the truth. And the truth is that we're beings of light, and our original nature is beautiful. And our original nature is loving. And tolerance doesn't even enter into it at that point. It's when we come into relationship with others and with ourselves that this word tolerance comes in. It means I have to appreciate myself but also appreciate others. Okay?
So if I daily start by reminding myself of that foundation and feel that love, that truth, then there's a chance that I won't need to force the tolerance. It'll be more like a flow.
Yeah, yeah. And for that you would really need meditation. And if possible on a daily basis. And then be aware of what you're starting to learn about yourself and others. And keep yourself in check so as to keep your energy high. Because it's ourselves that put ourselves down the most, actually. We think that can't mean me. I'm not doing that. I can't. But you can. It's all to do with your thoughts. It's your thoughts that create your energy.
And you spoke about how tolerance allows you to act, but not out of anger and aggression. But you can still act. So I'm now thinking, yeah, there's people, there's the self, but there's also situations like you can witness very traumatic things, even hundreds of miles away now on the news. And I would need the power of tolerance sometimes in those situations to keep myself steady. So how does that work if you're having to witness something very traumatic? What would be the accurate use of the power of tolerance to stay resilient?
I can only answer what I do for myself. I can find myself ready to jump in there to feel I want justice. I don't like what's happening. And then I remind myself it's actually nothing to do with me. We're all actors. And everyone acts out their role. And if I've not been there at the table when they were creating the rules for that one, and they had decided this was the law and this was the policy and this was what was going to happen, I can't do anything about it. So for me to go down the trauma of this is wrong, this is terrible, what terrible things happened and why has that happened, is futile. Everyone's an actor, and for some reason, whatever their act is, that's what it is, and that's what it will always be, and they're going to play that role out. Now, if I actually had them sitting in front of me and I had a chance to talk to them, and I had the power to change what was going to happen, that's a different matter. But if I don't have that, they're not in front of me. So what I can do is to constantly send out good wishes to that soul and that situation, and feel that perhaps that will touch, well, it will touch them, but whether it will make any difference, but then again it will make a difference, but then maybe they have to play a certain role, and that's the way it is. So I have to understand the drama of life. or else I'll keep myself in such a state of not being able to control the world. I cannot control every soul on the planet, but I can be a well-wisher for every soul on the planet, no matter what they do.
I suppose again it's just multiplying the damage, because I'm watching the damage happen there and then I'm being damaged as well. So, you know, that's not wise, that's not,
No.
that I don't care, but to be useful I need to stay cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's a bit like the circles of influence as well, isn't it? It's like, what can I control and influence?
See, we want to be controllers, actually. And we forget that, yes, we're all controllers, but we're supposed to be controllers of ourselves. If everyone was a controller of their own energy, our own nature is really at the beginning very beautiful. There wouldn't be any big trauma. We would be very careful of each other and of the planet and of the resources and of our interaction with others. We'd be very careful and kindly and loving, but it isn't like that at the moment. There's so many people, so many things are happening, and so you know, it's like watch the drama.
So if you were saying if this person's in the room or there's something I can say or something I can do, I do it, because often I know in the world, I've seen posters and things in the past, things like zero tolerance, you know, for example, for violence in the workplace or things like that. So this power of tolerance, we're talking about a different kind of tolerance here. It's not putting up with bad behaviour that's coming at you over a long period of time. It's a sort of, on an energy level, keeping your energy steady. What practical things could you do if someone is consistently being rude, insulting, critical over a long period of time?
I would step back a lot from being in too much interaction with them, if possible. Like, I would smile and be friendly and give good wishes and good vibes, but I wouldn't get into interaction where they're definitely going to have a wrong attitude back, if I could. And if I couldn't, then I would keep my own counsel as much as possible and keep a smile on my face and keep remembering who I am.
So I've heard you say before as well, it's almost like I'm allowing them to continue the wrong pattern or the negative pattern of behaviour if I don't move away or try and put a full stop or...
So, you the only way you can not be involved, actually, then it's not your responsibility for their actions. But if I keep on agitating their negative ways, or I keep buying into it, or I keep getting worried or despondent by it, I'm still connected to them. I'm still connected to all the wrong that they're doing. It's quite subtle. I know it's kind of my policy to go very silent, step back, smile, don't fall out with them, but I don't support that which they're up to. And if I ever get a chance, and it's okay to tactfully say something, I might, but then again, usually that doesn't work either, if it's really negative. But you just have to keep your own energy buoyant. I think that's the secret in everything. Keep your own energy up and running. Don't get involved in too much negative stuff. Sometimes we'll do it to save face. We might think that we have to show that we're tough and strong, or we have to be in there, or we should give our very positive input, but it'll just get trampled. And then it'll look as if to others if they're there, that negative's the way forward, that they won, and you can look very weak. But then you shouldn't mind looking weak either if it means that it's the best thing to do at that moment. It is something to think about, really, this power of tolerance.
So it's back to the having faith in myself, asking yourself, who am I, and that awareness that the law of life is love.
Yeah. The law of life is love. Anything we dislike is against the law. Because you can change dislike into harmful, into hatred, into fearful. You can change it into all sorts of very negative energies. So I shouldn't have dislike for anyone, no matter what they're like. Because whatever they're like, that's how they are at that point in time, and they're playing out their role. And
you're just seeing everything like a prompt, and that nothing, the aim is to let nothing prompt me into a unpleasant response,
yeah.
So that I have that much power of tolerance that I can always be loving, always be kind, always be peaceful.
Yeah.
That sounds very high, like Michelle Obama said. That sounds like you're going really high.
It sounds like a very, very big ask, but if I keep remembering my self-respect, I'll do my best to be like that. Because that's my self-respect, that's how I'm using my energy. Someone might be being hateful, but I don't want to be hateful. I don't want to put my energy through the track of being hateful. I want to keep my energy okay. So if even they want to be hateful to me, well, fine, that's the way you are.
Yeah, not wanting to get into the battle.
No.
The debate.
Yeah, because peace, we talk about peace in meditation. Peace is my original nature. So I have to actually be the example of my nature. Show who I am. I am peaceful, I am loving. And if I use these energies, I'll be tolerant of others. Tolerant means understanding. Being there for them, sympathizing.
I can see how it ties with resilience, because the other way is utterly exhausting. The battle, the debate, the hatred, the dislike, the criticism, it's just so tiring. Whereas the peace and the love, soul nurturing, the silence, the simplicity.
And the other way never has a good outcome.
No.
Never. You make an enemy. And you remember for years that this happened and that one was horrid, and I'm sure they've never changed, and you have a bad memory track of whatever happened. And unless you're able to change it, but it was in the past now, so you'd have to try to really be going some to pour in good energy now. So
how do you pour in good energy every day?
It's through meditation. Yeah, and whatever comes to your mind of the past, you cannot change it, but you can change how you see it now by thinking, well, I didn't know how to handle that at the time. I didn't know what to do. I myself was intolerant at that point, but now I give forgiveness, I send good wishes, I send love, understanding, like a spiritual medicine. So I think we'll have some meditation. Okay. Okay. So we sit peacefully and quietly and remember who we are. And I love this phrase, when they go low, we go high. Remember our beautiful nature. Raj Yoga meditation takes us back to our beginning time, our original nature of peace and love, when we got on with everyone, when we interacted beautifully. And so we want to do this now. It gets harder actually as the drama gets less like this. It doesn't support what we do. But we have to support what they do in the right way, with the right, correct energy. I am peace. I am love. I'm a being of understanding. And I have respect for all others. And I know that the journey is such that the challenges will come. And to tolerate is the most incredible energy. But to tolerate out of love is because you have understood the spiritual law, and the law of life is love, and that you are love. And the more I think of this, maybe the more I teach myself to know this, to feel this, to practice this. Everyone around me is my brother. And there's a great sickness of violence, sadness, worry, anxiety all around us. So I need to help by being tolerant and loving and understanding. Remember, we are love, you are love, I am love. And you can tolerate because of understanding the spiritual law of life, of love. I am a soul, and I remember the one above. This gives me strength. The ocean of love, the ocean of peace, the ocean of happiness, peace, love, and happiness. If I can remember this throughout the day, it makes it easy. It's a very powerful slogan. Peace, love, happiness. Om Shanti.